victory against the Brown Bears. Howdy, football fans. Jeremy Huber here with Colleen McNamara. Colleen, kind of different sides of the coin for both these teams today.
Georgetown, homecoming weekend, they're honoring the class of 74. On the other end of it, Brown, the visitors, they are, according to Coach Perry, just chomping on the bit to get out at their first game.
Let's jump into our players to watch in this one. We start with Brown, and of course, the guy under center for them, so important, Jake Wilcox.
Wilcox, he is all 23 Ivy League passing. Coach Marini, the quarterback coach, said we are expected to see the best of him today, that he's a phenomenal leader and just one of the toughest players.
Let's jump over to the other side of things. The Hoyas need to get pass rush on Wilcox. Cooper Blomstrom's going to be key in that effort.
Blomstrom, all Patriot League honorable mention last week. He has 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hurries on the season, and at least 1 tackle for loss per game. Him and his line are going to come out with their hair on fire today.
Take a look at our coaches. It's James Perry in his 5th season. Colleen, we had a chance to talk to him on Thursday.
Yes, James Perry, he's excited for the matchup. Again, chomping at the bit to get their first game out there.
And on the other side of things for the Georgetown Hoyas, it's Rob Scarlata. He's been the coach here since 2014. And to show you how old I am, Colleen, I called his first win here at Cooper Field a win against this very same Brown program. He would love to repeat that today. Homecoming on the hilltop should be a fun one as the Hoyas and Bears face off. On to handle kickoff duties for Brown today. It'll be Austin Alley. Coach Perry told us that Christopher Marin, normally their kicker, kind of saving him a little bit, coming back off some injuries, some other issues, making sure that he is fully healthy before they put him out for that. Bryce Cox is back deep on the return along with Uday and Aribe. And homecoming is underway here at Georgetown. It'll be into the end zone, and Aribe will take a knee for the touchback, and we will get this one underway as the Hoyas will bring the offense out first. Brown deferred the opening kickoff for their choice in the opening kickoff. They'll get the ball in the second half. So it'll be Danny Lauder bringing them out. Lauder, getting the job this year, the junior out of Greenwich, Connecticut. A guy that kind of got banged around a little bit last week. That's one thing Coach Scarlata mentioned, that Hoyas had to protect him a little better this time. Mm-hmm. So 1st and 10 as Lauder with 3 wide receivers. They'll be back to pass. Brown brings pressure. It's caught as over the middle making the catch, Brock Beestick, the senior out of Durham, North Carolina. That'll be a first down. So 1st and 10, that'll move the chains as you see the Georgetown starters as Lauder in the gun. And a handoff. That'll be Junaim Kearney off left tackle, brought down after a minimal gain. Of course, that starting group, Kearney having a big season so far, Colleen.
Absolutely. Kearney with at least a touchdown a game.
Yeah, so it's been big for him so far on the campaign. Kearney will come off. Bryce Cox into the contest. Nothing there. Lauder's going to pull it down. Now he'll take off running, try to avoid the hit, and gets about a 2-yard gain, bringing up a 3rd and long.
Lauder said, pass, run, whatever it takes to get the job done and get them the win. So we'll see a little bit of everything tonight.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that Danny Lauder, a kid who's very athletic, I think Coach Scarlata equated him to a little bit of a golden retriever puppy. He's just all over the place, and sometimes they have to calm him down a little bit.
Absolutely.
So 3rd down, need to get it out to the 45-yard line for a first down. Lauder pulls it down again as Brown brings pressure, and he's going to be brought down. He'll end up with a gain of about 3 as he was knocked forward. But again, Brown getting in there. Lauder unable to find somebody, and the Hoyas will have to punt it away. Pat Ryan coming on.
Pat Ryan, he should have a lot of confidence coming into this game. He's 100% on the season.
Yeah, in his kicks, but also opponent really does everything for the Hoyas. Back deep will be Sam Badu. A little bit of pressure, but gets away. Badu's going to let it bounce, takes a Hoya roll, and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. And that'll take us to our first break of the day. Hoya defense will get their first chance against this up-tempo Brown offense coming up here. About him before the game, right?
Yes, Coach Marina emphasized just what a tough player he is and shared that his father and brother are boxers, so runs in the family.
Yeah, it's the toughest sport there is. Close to it, got to be. Maybe MMA up there too. First and 10, as Wilcox will have 4 wideouts, actually 1 a tight end. And back to throw, down the sideline, has a man, he might have a touchdown. Hoya's bust on the coverage and going all the way to start the game is Solomon Miller. What a start for the Brown Bears.
Wow, they said they were going to come out with creativity and a fun offense, and they emphasized speed, and there you have it.
Just a busted coverage right there, as it didn't look like there was a miscommunication between Kaluba Pee-wee Jr. and DeAndre Harris. One looking for help over the top, one didn't get it. Here's the replay. And not a lot of fancy stuff here, just as you kind of talked about. Miller got all conference type speed, and he showed it there.
Mm-hmm.
Miller, his coach said the fastest guy in the Ivy League, but he didn't end up running in the finals, but does track for Brown as well, and showed off the speed there. So what a start for Brown in their first play of the season, as the extra point booted through by Marin. And that'll take us to another break, as the 87-yard touchdown pass from Wilcox to Miller has Brown up 7-0. You're watching our contest in the Patriot League on ESPN.
Really had leadership, and yeah, what a great way to start.
Yeah, talking to Tim Gear beforehand, the information contact for Browns is really the most experienced team they've had in a long while. I believe 27 seniors plus maybe 6 or 7 super seniors as well. So a loaded team, and they look like it right there. Another kickoff. This one will end up just making the end zone. So Allie went for the corner, able to get it and not go out of bounds, give the Hoyas good field position. As a 7-0 lead for Brown as the crowd starts to file in here on homecoming. And Hoyas could definitely use an answer drive here after last week. A really tough matchup against Sacred Heart. It was basically an even up game at the half, late turnover. Sacred Heart scored, then really just dominated the second half. So let's see what Georgetown can do here. First and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. Lauder will hand it off. Kearney. Magno pitches it out. Dunneman on the edge, and positive yardage for the Hoya receiver out to the 30. Let's take a look at our starters for Brown. As up front, a couple names to know up there. Philbin and Quincy Utse. Also, Caleb Moorhead in the back end at the linebacker spot, as another quick pass out to Dunneman. Dunneman's got a little bit of space. He'll be knocked out of bounds and out near the 40-yard line. Caleb Moorhead, of course, with a lot of stuff to talk about with him.
Absolutely. Campbell Trophy and also engineer internship last summer. He kind of well-rounded player, got it all going for Moorhead, and he also rounds out that for leaders with the captain as well.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking to Tim Gear beforehand, and I said, he said, oh, he was interning at Rydell, the helmet company. And I said, did he joke that he was the test dummy there? And he said, no. And I said, you know what? Such a smart guy. I'm sure you can make that joke and everyone have a good laugh about it. Anytime you're going to Brown, you're not doing that. Dunneman again. He makes the catch. Nick Dunneman, he's blasted out of bounds. And no penalty flag. That's kind of a shocker. It looked like he was in the white and took a huge hit from Sam Smith in the back. Rob Scarlotta can't be happy about that.
Scarlotta said this was going to be a challenge for them and that they'd be prepared for that.
So Hoya's starting to move the ball, and That's something that they need desperately. Got to answer against a high-powered Brown offense. You don't want to get behind against the Bears. Have to play catch-up all game long. Hand off. Kearney picking his way through the middle. Kearney's got some space. Kearney out in front will be dragged down around the 20-yard line. Brought down by Ryan Haley, but another big gainer for the Hoyas.
Great demonstration of Kearney's speed there.
Kearney all the way down for a 26-yard gain. So the Hoyas, after a tough first drive, starting to get it moving. Remember, this is a reconfigured Hoya line. A lot of injuries up front. 1st and 10. And it'll be Lauder on the keep. Lauder up the middle, gets his pins taken out from him. Malo comes up from the secondary to bring him down, but not till a gain of 7. Looks like this line might have been even shaken up even more. Trying to find Lassini Maka, the standout center. He doesn't appear to be out there now. Looks like they've moved some guys around. Kevin Quinn in at a guard while Josh Sawicki is in at center. So again, a Hoya line already was dealing with injury. Maybe dealing with some more. We knew that Messiah Talanoa was already banged up. And here is Cox, and he is brought down this time, trying to go east-west, and it did not go well for him. Loss of about 2 on the play. Bring up a 3rd and 7. So Georgetown really looking for an answer here against Brown. Cox will stay in as the running back. Lauder, 4-man rush. Looking out for Dunneman, and it is caught by Nick Dunneman down inside the 5. What a pass and what a catch.
Dunneman has been all over it today. Lauder knows to find him.
Yeah, Dunneman, of course, what a great story there. Colleen, you a former Division I athlete. He started at the Division III level, came up to Georgetown, and has not slowed down at all. So he has looked mighty good since he stepped on the hilltop.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fumble, but it's caught into the end zone. If he has the ball, it should be a touchdown, and it is. Naeem Kearney, his 6th touchdown of the year. He bobbled the handoff, but able to grab it back in and find pay dirt.
And Kearney continues his pattern of a touchdown a game.
He had 2 each in the first 2, 1 last week, adds 1 on here. So what an answer by the Hoyas after giving up that long bomb touchdown. Methodical drive down the field, 75 yards and 8 plays, capped off by the Kearney score from 1 yard out, set up by so many plays by Dunneman. Ryan on for the extra point. He boots it, and it is through. So the Hoyas, as Rob Scarlett outs to the numbers, firing up his team. What an answer by the Hoyas. We're tied at 7. 8.5 to go. You're watching today's contest on the Patriot League on ES here at Georgetown, homecoming Saturday, and it has been a back-and-forth affair, Colleen.
Absolutely. All tied up with that last touchdown by Georgetown, 7-7. Both teams have that heart, and it shows.
Yeah, the 87-yard touchdown pass from Wilcox to Miller opened things up after a 3-and-out Georgetown drive, and the Hoyas come right back, get in that offensive groove, and go right down the field and score against the Brown defense. So it'll be Ryan on to kick it off. Back deep, Miller. And this will be caught by Stockton Owen. Owen cuts it back and eventually brought down, but a nice return out to the 30-yard line. Kenneth Borders in the middle of that. He's one of the Hoya big hitters in the back end. Got a lot of defensive backs on this Hoya team that can contribute.
Brown offensive line.
Let's take a look at that Brown offensive line. A couple of folks have note on that, Colleen.
Yes, absolutely. We have Reed, who's just a hidden gem, captain, one of the best players, hardest worker.
Of course, also out there, Bozick and Connolly, two of their really good offensive linemen out on the left side. They're folks to watch as well. Here's Wilcox, quick throw. catch made and near first down yardage for Mark Mahoney, the giant wide receiver, 6'5", 240. Has really tight end size, but wide receiver skills and a first down. So gain of 10 and the sticks move. 8 minutes and rolling here in our first quarter. Now a handoff. Almost hit in the backfield and finally stacked up is Owen after a gain of 6 yards. Saeed Aziz in on the tackle. And now another man down up front for the Hoyas. Something they can't afford. They are paper thin up front. And John Caramonico, one of their starters, is down on the ground. And that's not what you want to see if you're Rob Scarlatta. Caramonico out of Raleigh, North Carolina. You had a chance to talk to some of the defense.
You see him hitting his own teammate.
Looks like he full friendly fire ran into his own teammate. As we'll see it right there, and got a hopefully just a gut shot as opposed to the knees or the appendages. It's always tough to tell. So hopefully, maybe John just got the wind knocked out of him. You ever have that happen, Colleen?
Yes.
It is not fun.
Oh.
Been about 40 years for me, but I still remember like it was yesterday.
Absolutely.
2nd and 6. Again, Brown stays on the ground. Oh, and nice tackle as Murray comes up from the secondary, brings him down after a gain of 3. Georgetown defensive group out there. Anybody catch your eye over there, Colleen, on the defense for Georgetown?
Defense for Georgetown. I would just say overall they're going to run a really tight defense and they're really prepared to stop it, especially the passing game.
Yeah, big time stuff. Boys have a lot of good defensive backs. Key against playing a team like Brown who likes to throw it around. 5 wide receivers. As the Hoyas almost jump off sides, Brown stays, so they'll let them keep the play going. Wilcox flushed to the outside. He's got space. He's got a first down and more. He'll be brought down as Ely makes the tackle, but not until a gain of about 7.
As quarterback coach Marini predicted, that confidence on Wilcox, undeniable.
Yeah, everyone talks about his toughness and how you mentioned family full of boxers. He actually had 5 special teams tackles his first year at Brown just because he wanted to get on the field. Let's see the quarterbacks do that often. Wilcox, long bomb. Do they have a second long touchdown? Brown does. Touchdown as Mahoney beats the Hoyas deep. Second time this Hoya standout secondary has been toasted deep as Mahoney goes long for another bomb from Wilcox.
What an opening campaign for Brown.
Another lengthy touchdown. As a 45-yard touchdown pass, second long one of the game. This is something the Hoyas thought they would be able to stop. Rob Scarlatta can't be happy right now. His team gave up some big plays last week against Sacred Heart. That's continuing today. As Marin on for the extra point. And he'll boot it through. So has not taken Brown all that long. That time at least 2 minutes and 11 seconds. But another big passing play. And Brown has the 14-7 lead. Right now, got to be a lot of discussion on that sideline, Colleen. Just folks trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, Georgetown's now in the position where they must play catch up, like you mentioned earlier, and do what they did last time they had the ball.
Seeing Coach Kevin Doherty, the defensive coordinator, taking a look at that iPad. And Georgetown is really in the Rob Scarlatta era, not giving up a lot of deep balls. They really had some good defensive back play, good corner play. And if they have given up big plays, it's been more in the run, especially later in the season when their line has gotten banged up. But today, 2 deep balls, one to Mahoney, one to Miller, and a 14-7 lead for Brown. So again, Allie on to kick it away. And this one will be returnable. Uribe and a nice special teams play. Brown fired up. They get down the field, making the tackle Stefano Montella, the sophomore out of Long Valley, New Jersey. And the Hoyas will start inside their 20-yard line.
Coach Scarlotta talked about his goals for today's game. All about that ball, just taking care of it was number one. So doing that so far right here.
Yeah, but also in that goal was limiting big plays like they did not do against Sacred Heart last week. And Brown, a step up in class, a rising program in the Ivy League. Nearly finished 500 last year. So Danny Lauder, third drive of the game for the Hoyas. Lauder gets rid of it, almost picked off, and now it will be. Through behind his receiver, and a pick at exactly what they didn't want. Nevaeh Gaddis gets the interception off the ricochet, and things have not started off well for the Hoyas on this homecoming.
Yeah, Lauder mentioned, especially with the run game, got to stick to their own game, their simple game, so they can get back to that next offensive opportunity.
Yeah, and that time Lauder tried to make a little too tough of a play. And throws it up, thought it might fall harmlessly to the ground, but Gaddis was Johnny on the spot, able to bring it in, and now Brown with a chance for a 2-touchdown lead early in this contest. Let's see if the Hoya defense can rise up after giving up 2 big plays to start the game. Wilcox, flush to the outside. He'll throw it, and it will be, is it picked off? It is. What a play by the Hoyas to get themselves back, and it's Quincy Briggs had the huge interception return touchdown, or fumble return touchdown against Davidson. He does it here to save the Hoyas bacon.
Georgetown is mirroring Brown's play.
Quincy Briggs had that huge game-changing fumble return touchdown. This time, Bates, the quarterback, we see the replay here, Colleen, looked like Mahoney was open, but Quincy Briggs with the closing speed, able to bring it in.
He was not letting that touch Brown. That was his all day.
And Briggs had a chance to catch up with him after that win over Davidson. He is Louisiana, Memphis through and through. One of the many, and it looks like they may be reviewing this. So we will have a delay for review, and obviously the Hoyas hoping this one goes their way.
Briggs is also leading the Patriot League alongside his teammate Blumstrom with forced fumbles, 2 apiece there.
So we'll see if they can get a good look at this one. As it's on the sideline, so probably 2 things they're looking at here. 1, did he make the catch? 2, did he stay in bounds when he did? What a game-changing play this will be. Looks like there might have been a bobble there at the end, so we'll have to go. And boy, would that be a tough one for Georgetown if they don't get this pick.
This was the momentum I think they needed to answer back.
So you see there, he's definitely in bounds because his hip comes down in bounds. So that part of the play is good. The question is, does he have control of the ball? And it looks like they're going to say good interception. So big break for the Hoyas, or just say big play for the Hoyas, confirmed by the eye in the sky.
Now let's see what they do with this.
So Lauder back out there. Led the touchdown drive in the middle, 3 and out first time out there, interception the second time. They'll keep it on the ground. Kearney to the outside. Kearney will be hog-tied by Mallow up top, and he'll have a minimal gain on the play. To Mallow, one of 4 sets of brothers on this team, not twins, brothers. Could you imagine that? Your siblings playing with them at the college level?
I think I'd really enjoy it. I think that'd be a blast. But yeah, I guess you can be really real and hold each other accountable when you're family.
That's very true. Quick pass out in the flat, caught, and lunging forward close to the sticks is John Alexander, freshman out of California. Coach Scarlotta told us he might see some time today. Youngster with some good speed who liked the way he's worked. That's the good thing, Colleen, about, D1 practices, you get a chance to show what you can do.
Yeah, and especially getting freshmen out there, they're hungry, they want to prove themselves just as much.
So third down, we'll call it 2. As Cox is in the backfield. Dunneman goes in motion. And Lauder will keep. Lauder's got a seam. Lauder out in front, out to the 30-yard line. So a nice gain for Danny Lauder. Give him about 12 and a big first down to keep the chains moving.
There we go. Lauder doing whatever it takes. His confidence is back, just like that.
And that's one of the things with Lauder is that they know he is a kid that can run the ball well, but they have to be judicious about it to make sure he doesn't get knocked out. Rob Scarlatta's seen a few of his seasons derailed by injuries to his quarterback. So they know Lauder's got something special. As fake the handoff, now quick screen. It's Pygott. Pygott will have about 6 yards. Pygott had a tough time last time out, had 2 fumbles, but he was also the leading receiver for the Hoyas. Talking to Coach Scarlatti, he said, look, that's a kid I trust implicitly with everything on this team. Just had a bad day. And as he said, the other team gets coached too. So sometimes they make some good plays, and that was part of it. So getting him his first catch of the day, got to feel good. 2nd and 4, need to get to the 39 for a first down. And Kearney hit in the backfield, shakes off one man and almost shakes off a second, but Kyle Philbin was there to stop him about a yard short of the sticks.
Moving inch by inch here, small gains, but there's still something.
Philbin, his honorable mention All Ivy. Phil Steele's All Ivy team. He has a brother, plays at Endicott University. I believe D2 school, might be Division III up in the Northeast. Good athletics programs up there. And they'll hand it off. Kearney, and he's close, and I think they're going to give it to him. One official, and now they will both move the chains along.
Coach Scarlatta's referred to him as explosive and extremely speedy, and we're seeing a little bit of that there.
Yeah, Naeem Kearney out of Powerhouse Martinsburg in West Virginia. And actually one of those small world moments. Guy I used to coach youth football against. Actually coached him back in the day. Told me to say hi to Naeem. Over the middle, incomplete. Flag goes down. Is that going to be a late hit on the quarterback? As Lauder holding his shoulder. And looks like the one good piece of news, it might be his non-throwing shoulder. So it will be roughing the passer. Leave. Might have been Moorhead. But behind the play, let's see if it affects Lauder. Looked like he was holding his non-throwing shoulder there for a little while. But the Hoyas get a free 15. Mixing up their receiver group. Now Kearney spins and brought down. Bears at the point of attack, including Moorhead.
Brown's really denying that run, or at least denying a big run.
So that was a 15-yard penalty on Moorhead. Yeah, so far today, Colleen, for the Hoyas, we'll have 62 yards. Kearney did run off that one long run, but besides that, really, that run game has been held in check so far. 90 seconds to go in our opening quarter. 14-7 lead on homecoming. Another quick screen and almost picked off. Would have been a lineman's dream as Quincy Utse got big paws on it, couldn't bring it in.
Brown is all over both sides of the ball today. Really seeing that high energy, up tempo that Perry was talking to us earlier this week about.
Yeah, he said that, Brown, it's just the fun institution to be a part of, the learning curriculum, it's open. So he said, you want to play football like that where it's fun for these guys to come out and play. 3rd and 9, Lauder looking in the flats and incomplete. He had a man short, tried to go long to Dunneman. unable to connect, and the punt team will come on out. And Lauder, kind of that left arm drooping a little bit. You have to wonder how he's feeling right now. Big shot behind the play.
Number 2, Daniel Padu, back for the Bears.
See if he gets any medical attention. Looks like he hasn't gone to any trainers, so hopefully he's okay. Ryan to punt it away. End over end kick. Badu calls for the fair catch. Makes it inside his own 10-yard line. And Brown will have it. 1:14 left to go in the opening quarter. A busy first quarter here as Bears with the 14-7 lead.
Padu on that last play, he's a local, and according to Coach Perry, he's going to fight it out. So I think the Hoyas got lucky there that he didn't try to challenge that further.
Yeah, Badu out of Providence, Rhode Island. Of course, there's 3 football schools up there, Rhode Island, Bryant as well. And we see quickly with no media timeout, Brown getting going. Here's Owen up the middle, banging around, and Hoya defense collapses to hold him to a gain of about 1 or 2. And one thing that Coach Perry told us that they can kind of vary up that tempo. They can go fast. They can go a little bit slower if they want to. They like to play fast, but also not only just the style, but also the speed they put out there. Always looking for speed. Quick pass and nice catch. Going to be a first down as he's able to find Ty Pezza out to the 22-23-yard line.
Pezza darted to the center out of nowhere there.
Guarded by Wedner Cadet. Hoya's freshman All-American corner from a couple years ago. Tore his ACL last year. Hand it Owen on the stretch play. Not much there. That should bring us to the end of the quarter. Brown might try to get a playoff here. Maybe try to get a Hoya offside. They've got to reset the ball with 3 seconds to go. Wilcox. And that will bring us to the end of the quarter as a 7-point lead for the Brown Bears. Some first quarter fireworks as the Bears with the lead here on the Hoyas, 14-7 on homecoming Saturday. Watching today's contest on the Patriot League on ESPN. Help keep the Bears off the board. A couple of big, long touchdown passes by the Bears of Brown, accounting for their 2 scores. 2nd and 10. Fake the handoff out in the flat. And the tight end Golden will be brought down just short of the 30-yard line. They'll bring up a 3rd down and long for Brown. Golden, the junior out of San Jose, California. Game-winning touchdown catch in the opener against Bryant last year. Last second, 13 seconds to go in that contest. So 3rd and 5, need to get it out to the 33 for a first down. But this is a Brown team that will go for it on 4th down more than most. Wilcox looking deep, and it's caught again. What a play. Going up is Chasen Barber to bring it in. Barber, the son of Tiki Barber, and making like his dad with a huge play there. What a catch.
It looks like he doubled his height there with that arm extension.
Goes up against Briggs, catches it on the backside. Another huge gain for Brown. One goes for 22. Wilcox flushed. He'll take it and spins out of the tackle as Patrick Turner gets him to the ground after a gain of 6.
Wilcox on the rush.
Quarterback coach for Brown Marini said we're going to get the best Wilcox today, and so far he's given us that performance.
It's a good start. Heather Marini, been with Brown, I believe, 5 or 6 years. Moving up the ranks now, quarterback coach. He was a quarterback in the Women's Professional League.
2nd and 4.
So he's got that experience card in her back pocket. Handoff up the middle and pulled down just short of the sticks is Quentin Brown, the junior out of Santa Cruz, California. So now Brown will pick up the tempo on 3rd and short.
3rd and 1.
Little single wing action, as that will be a 1st down as Brown pushes the pile for a gain of 3. It's that old popular formation from the 1930s and 40s, the single wing. Nelson told us that we could see now linebacker and former backup quarterback Nate Lucier getting some carries as a quarterback. Bring him in on short yardage. So 1st and 10. Brown has scores on 2 of their 3 drives. The only one they didn't through an interception. Wilcox pressured, avoids it, and now he'll be brought down in the backfield. Mohamed Sow with the sack, brings him back, almost escaped the front door, but instead a loss of 4.
Wow.
There by Sow. Some pressure in the backfield. He was able to wrap him up.
Took the 4th Georgetown defenseman, though. Got past the first 3.
Tough to do sometimes as that nose tackle. Push your guy back and then get off and make a tackle. Sow able to do it there. He's a local for Georgetown. As fake the handoff. Wilcox again rushed, and this time brought down. Back-to-back sacks for the Hoyas. This time it's the big man when it comes to hitting. David Papielli brings him down for a big loss.
Ely, that big hitter, already a few tackles for loss, and here's another showing of Ely at his best.
And they call him Pop, not because he's the oldest, now he is, but because he was a hitter from coming on campus that he only had a 1 speed. 3rd and very long. Wilcox again pressured. Will the Hoyas have 3 straight sacks? They don't, and they will. Blomstrom makes the play. 3 sacks in a row for the Hoya defense.
Blomstrom, we highlighted him earlier today, and wow, he really said that they'd come out with their hair on fire, and that 3 plays in a row really showed like they had their hair on fire there.
Brown kind of a jailbreak at the quarterback. Saw Nat Frangione back there as well. Flushes him, and then Blomstrom makes the desperation sack. Able to bring him down. What a defensive stand. Looked like Brown was taking control of this game back. Instead, a punt situation with Dunneman back deep. High snap. Punted away. Tail wagging punt. Dunneman, it hit someone. Might have been a Brown player. Actually, they're going to say it didn't hit anybody. And what a play for Brown. This might come for a replay as Rob Scarlatta pointing toward the Brown defender, saying it kicked off his heel. So if it did, it'll be dead at the spot where the ball was touched. And we'll go to break. We'll update you after this. 14-7, Brown up on the Hoyas. You're watching on the Patriot League on ESPN. 4-yard line. So interesting on that because it looked like Brown down at the 1. Rob Scarlatta, I think, went to every single official, Colleen, and asked, hey, you going to review that? No avail. So no review on that possible contact at the spot of where Dunneman was. So the Hoyas will start off 1st and 10 from their own 4-yard line as Lauder keeps, and he'll be brought down by Mallow after a gain of about 4.
Lauder brought down by Trent Mallow.
Lauder, true to his word, doing whatever it takes to win.
Tell you, that's one of those underrated parts of a coach. You almost have to be a lobbyist sometime when it comes to the officials.
And rightfully so, especially in that play where even us up here, we couldn't really tell if it hit Brown or not.
Yeah, it looked like with that kind of collision, no one was sure it didn't hit Dunneman or Brown would have been jumping on that ball, would have been theirs. Now it will be Lauder trying to keep instead of giving, and he'll be brought back. All that yardage they got on 1st down gets taken right back on the loss of 3. That read play as we get a second look at it. Lauder thought he had a read he didn't actually have. So now looking at a 3rd and 8. See if the Hoyas put it up.
6 defensive starters returning for Brown, and it shows that veteran play.
Lauder has time. Now he'll check it down and incomplete. Not a good throw. Wouldn't have been a 1st down anyway, trying to find Carroll, but Lauder off the mark on that one, and a 3 and out for the Hoyas. Yeah, Lauder got banged around a little bit in that Sacred Heart game. That's something that Scarlotta said, look, we kind of got to protect him a little better this time. He had good protection there, but unable to find anybody, and when he did, not a great throw. So not the full distance here for Ryan, but not a lot of pressure for Brown trying to set up a return. Going to be an end-over-end kick. Badu takes it at his 50, and the Hoyas get down the field. A little bit of contact, and now Brown, I think, just trying to get out of the way of the Hoyas. Thought there might be some scrapes down there. 14-7, Brown with it in Georgetown territory. You're watching the Patriot League on ESPN. Brown looking to tack on to their 14-7 lead. Hoyas had good defensive possession, 3 straight sacks. But good punt by Brown and a 3 and out. Have the Bears on the move again. They'll pitch it out. The speedy Miller around the end already has 1 touchdown today. He'll be knocked out of bounds just past the sticks. Gain of 12.
It's clear that Miller does track as well. That looks like a baton pass and a relay from Wilcox to Miller.
Yeah. On the move, Miller had touchdown catches in consecutive games versus Princeton, Cornell, and Penn last October as DeLucia pounds forward and a gain of 7 on the play.
DeLucia able to weave through a few Georgetown defense there.
Boy is cycling in and out. Looks like Caramonico back out there. We saw him go down earlier in the game, but he is back out on the field. Of course, Boys without Veron Garrison. He's banged up currently. 2nd and 5. Wilcox has time. Out. And another, say incomplete. They'll say no catch for Barber. Looked like he had his feet in, but the official from behind says no. There's that replay. Only need the 1 foot down. Looked like he got the toes in, and the ball doesn't move. That's an interesting call.
You can see Brown's sideline not liking that call either.
And now we're going to have a review, and that's a bad call. I mean, unless we're seeing something that they didn't. I mean, that ball never moved, and it looked like he might have got both toes down.
That's the thing. At least one.
Yeah, it didn't appear to be any bobble. And that official from behind came in pretty quickly and said no catch. Looked like Barber played that perfectly.
I give credit to Brown. It really seems like they're utilizing all parts of the field, especially their sidelines.
Catch is made there. Obviously a little blurry on our camera angle, but looks like the feet are down. Unless they're saying here, maybe that's what the official saw, that saying that the ground helped him bring that ball in, but it doesn't look like it moved. So this could be a Brown first down. And it's sometimes always in the beholder when it comes to the officials in the replay booth. On our last break, we had a chance to honor the 1974 Georgetown football team. They're being honored 50th anniversary this weekend. I believe you're going to see at the half interview that Rob Scarlotta did and I did on his show, Sitting Down with Scar, with Dr. Jim Chesley. Wonderful man. Great to talk to him. A gastroenterologist around here. He was the first African-American captain for Georgetown football. So what an honor to speak to him.
Scarlotta does an excellent job maintaining those connections, relationships, especially with all that alumni, and really speaks on Georgetown's family pride.
Yeah. You know, all those folks really excited to be out here this weekend, and I think right now trying to get an official spot, so maybe this is going to be moved. And it looks like it will be, so it looks like it's going to be a good catch for Barber. So it is a catch by Jason Barber. Looked like it was from up here. And after review, it becomes a catch. Call overturned. So ball down around the 10-yard line. First and goal. Brown can't get a first down without a touchdown. They'll hand it off. DeLucia and hit the backfield and eventually swallowed up. Looked like John Caramonico making a nice play. Caramonico out of North Carolina, out of Raleigh and Cardinal Gibbons High School. Brother actually played up here in the D.C. area, Division III Catholic. A lot of movement by the Bears. 7 minutes to go in the half. Rollout. Wilcox going to keep it himself and knocked out of bounds as Rufo with closing speed gets him out at the 6.
Denied by Georgetown just in time there. Wilcox was getting close to scoring.
Rufo out of Hawaii, Punahou School, alma mater of President Barack Obama. Has flashed ever since getting on campus. Boy is showing pressure. They don't bring it. Wilcox fade and overthrows his man. That's tough to do. Big Mark Mahoney out there was open, but Wilcox couldn't bring it in, and not much of a decision as James Perry loves to go for it on 4th down, but he's going to take the points here.
Georgetown will take whatever break they can get there.
Yeah, it could have been 6 as Mahoney got himself open, but bit of an airmail on the throw, and now looks like John Caramonico down again. We saw him earlier in the game looked like hit in the belly in the midsection area by one of his teammates and made a play on that drive. So it looked like he was no worse for wear. Now you have to be a little worried. Didn't see if he went down coming off the field or if he was already there, but Christopher Marin on for the field goal, a short one. Marin's got a huge leg. As his coach said, he's a 50-yard field goal type of guy. This one should be a chip shot from the near hash. Kick is up, and the kick by Marin is good. So the Hoyas hold Brown to a field goal. But now a 2-possession lead for the Bears. With 6:19 to go. Brown up on Georgetown 17-7. You're watching our contest on the Patriot League on ESPN. This could really use some points on this drive.
Absolutely. And to reference head coach Scarlotta's 3 goals for each week, that third one, explosiveness, they're going to need to create them and try their best to exclude them. So let's see explosiveness, hopefully, from the Hoyas here.
That's why the Hoyas trail those 2 big plays. The 87-yard touchdown pass to Miller, and then the 45-yard score to Mark Mahoney, Short kick going to be not played on the bounce as Centeribe will be hit. That short kick didn't come up for it. Thought he'd play it on the bounce. Instead, it checked up, and the Hoyas again with not super great field position.
Tackle made by Stanley Smith.
A little different group back there. Mason Gudger banged up. He'd normally be back there. Of course, he's had big kickoff returns in every game so far this year. Time not there. It's like the Hoyas done some more shuffling on that offensive line. Richie Panomi now out there. I don't know if that's injury or trying to get a few guys through on a hot day. Hoyas already 4 games in, really having to test their depth. As Kearney hit and brought down after a minimal, actually going to be a loss on the play.
Kearney on the rush.
And with that injury report, I think Georgetown, this being their 4th game, they might obviously have more of that than Brown, who's fresh legs for their first game.
Bears kicking off their season like the Ivy does. Coach Perry told us, hey, it's a sprint for us, 10 straight weeks. And caught by Dunneman. Big hit, but stayed on his feet as Nick spins around, and they're going to say he stepped out of bounds. So got close to the sticks with that second effort, but on that spin move, he ended up stepping on the line. So still a good gain, but it'll bring up a 3rd and 4 instead of maybe a 3rd and 1 or a first down. It's a big play here for the Hoyas. Would prefer not to give Brown the ball back in good field position, especially considering the Bears will get the ball to start the second half as they defer the option to start the game. 5 men out in the pattern for Lauder. Quick screen. They find Poggett. Poggett's got a lot of room. Poggett might be gone. One man to beat, and he's going to beat him. Cam Poggett going to go the distance. Touchdown, Hoyas.
Poggett found that hole and went with it.
That's got to feel awful good for him, Colleen. Last week, he was the leading receiver, but had 2 big fumbles that helped turn the game to Sacred Heart's favor. This time, a huge touchdown reception to flip it to the Hoyas as we take another look here. Again, got the 1 block. Panomi out there, and he was off to the races.
Right down the center. And that, as we'd mentioned, Georgetown needed a big play, and that was that.
Tell you what, you have to wonder. We said the Hoyas had a coverage bust on that long touchdown pass. Brown gives one right back as up and through by Ryan, and a little bit of pushing and shoving after the play. Maybe some acting as well, as one of the Hoyas went down hard. I think Sebastian Alonso, the long snapper, might have been it. So let's see who the call's on. And I think Rob Scarlatta hoping one of his guys has an acting degree, and I think it might be the long snapper Alonso, the way this one's being talked about. Someone kind of reached out at the end, a little bit of jawing back and forth, and someone gave a shove, and a Hoya went down like a ton of bricks. Let's see what the call is.
After the play, just out, sit there, brother.
On Brown. Catch the number, but
I think 93? Was it Jordan?
very possible.
Jordan, maybe?
Yeah, I think you're right, Colleen. And I think that one might have been sold by all long snapper earn there.
Mm-hmm. Great culture with both teams, especially with the special teams on Georgetown. Speaking with Ryan, he said it's all group effort. Couldn't happen without the snap and the hold, and they all really fit each puzzle piece.
So 1st and 10, plenty of time for Brown. And Wilcox goes screen the other way, up in the air, had a chance for a pick. As Wilcox a little high on his target, was looking for a wide receiver. Couldn't find him, off his hands, and almost a chance for a pick as Nesbitt couldn't bring it in.
Momentum is absolutely with Georgetown right now, so they would capitalize on any of Wilcox's mistakes.
Second and 10. Boy is showing a little pressure. Looks like they've changed up the play. Wilcox out the flat, almost picked off by Wedner Cadet, and it could have been a pick 6. Wedner goes to the catcher's crouch, knows he let one get through his hands. Wedner Cadet now head and hands. He knows he had one. Again, that fantastic freshman season, Colleen, where he had 4 interceptions, 1 pick 6, and a fumble recovery. Could have put the Hoyas in the lead. Instead, Brown will have another shot at getting a first down here.
He knows that feeling of success, and he had his fingertips on it. Can see why he's upset there.
Wilcox swings it out in the flat, has a man, and has a first down as the Hoyas couldn't make the tackle. Had a good chance to get off the field, but out of the backfield, Matt Childs able to shake Rufo for the first down gain. Tough right there. Georgetown had a chance at least for an interception, maybe for points off of it. Then he gave up a 3rd and 10 when you had a chance to make a tackle in the open field. 4.5 to go, so Brown with a fresh set of downs. And this time, Wilcox will be spun down. Hoyas with another sack, and Rufo makes up for it coming in. He couldn't make the tackle in the open field, but he makes the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Georgetown defense, I think their fourth game really.
Meeting at the quarterback, loss of 4 on the play. Hoyas have gotten after the quarterback today. They've struggled in that area a bit. Long pass, another deep chance, and incomplete. He was looking for the speedster Miller, but off the mark. Colleen, so far, Georgetown with 4 sacks on the day.
I think we can go back to Blumstrom with expecting some bumps in the road for Brown. And although they came out on fire, I think this is where we're going to see Georgetown, with their games under their belt, start to know how to come back here.
Hoyas only had 9 sacks coming into the game. A little bit of pressure here. Wilcox got a clean pocket, and he's going to have a first down as Mahoney, Hoyas completely bust a coverage, getting him a running start, and that's a big gain. What a mistake by the Hoyas there on a 3rd and 14.
Mahoney's been a consistent contributor today, and that wide open there, right down the center.
Like Daniel might have got out of position, and Mahoney took advantage. So 2nd straight 3rd and long converted by Brown. This time Owen up the middle. He'll have a gain of 5. That's so key. We talked about it before. Brown will have the ball to start the second half, so a chance for a touchdown. That completely blows the game open. That's why the Hoyas were hoping at least for a stop. Had 2 golden chances to do it. Couldn't get off the field.
Wilcox definitely aware of that. He's dishing it off right away.
2nd and 6. Clock running. About 2.5 to go in the half. Remember the 2-minute timeout. So an extra timeout in the back pocket of the Bears. Wilcox looking long. Now over the middle. Making the catch is Pezza. He'll be a yard short of the sticks.
Pez's great height helped him with that one.
And it did. Pezza, 6'4", 225-pounder. Got a lot of size in that receiver group. And now we will have the 2-minute timeout. So both teams will come to the sideline and try and figure out what they're going to do the next few steps. 3-point lead for Brown. Into the first half is where it got away from Georgetown last week against Sacred Heart, trying to avoid that same fate here. 3rd down and 1 for Brown coming out of the 2-minute timeout. They will hand it off to Owen. He's got first down yardage, looking for more. He's dragged down after a gain of about 3. Remember, after the 2-minute timeout, it goes back to the old college timing rules. So first downs stop the clock until the chains move. Clock running again as Georgetown will get their defensive subs out on the field. Hoyas had a few chances to get off the field here. Wedner Cadet dropped an interception. Could have been 6 the other way. Then a pair of 3rd and long conversions. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 14. Brown gets them both. Now another fresh set of downs. Going deep again is Wilcox. And this time Briggs almost pulls in the interception. Would have been his 2nd of the day. Great coverage on Barber. Remember last week against Sacred Heart, Pioneers scored with 30 seconds to go in the half, take the lead, and then the Hoyas interception on the first play after that, trying to get points of their own, Sacred Heart turned that into a field goal. 3-point lead. Up the middle goes DeLucia. He pushes forward and will be stopped about 4 yards short of the sticks.
I know last week for the Hoyas, or this week leading up to today's game, was a huge learning experience from Sacred Heart. So I know it's ingrained in their brains to not let that repeat from last week happen.
Seeing Ryan Hussey, the freshman, wearing number 98 out there. Again, Hoyas without Ron Garrison today. John Caramonico has been banged up. And Hussey jumps off sides. Free play for Brown. And it's going to wipe out a sack. So it'll be a first down instead and a fresh set of downs for Brown.
Wilcox doing all he can there, just holding on to the ball as he goes down.
So
By Ryan Hussey.
instead of a sack, that drive full of self-inflicted mistakes for Georgetown. A couple of chances at interceptions, a couple of chances make a tackle, get off the field. And now Georgetown, are they going to take a timeout? Or are we going to get, I think we might have a clock issue. Making sure that's right.
Every second's going to matter here for both teams.
Yep. So whatever the issue is, it looks like it's been fixed. Gonna run the clock. Again, handoff. DeLucia into the secondary. He's brought down by Rufo, short of the sticks. And Brown's going to take a timeout. So having those timeouts in their back pocket, that's just their first of the game. So able to use the ground game for a nice gain there.
Yeah, don't need necessarily the hero play here as long as they're
7-yard gain on
making yardage consistently.
Yes, that's, I believe, the first time out of the half for Brown. So obviously, if you're James Perry, what you'd love to do right here is score a touchdown with the least amount of time on the clock. Be able to get the ball back to open the second half and have a chance to really blow this one open. So Brown will be back out. We might be wrong on the timeouts, folks, because they haven't updated the scoreboard. So we apologize if we are. 2nd and 3.
2nd and 3 of the 14.
Owens the back of the backfield. 3 receivers all to one side. Now Mahoney goes in motion. Lob pass and out of bounds. Just trying to save field position. Threw it in the general direction of the big wide receiver.
28 seconds left for Brown to make something happen here.
So 3rd and 3. As this time, Wilcox will be in the pistol with Owen behind him. Handoff goes Owen. He'll be hit and brought down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like big Nat Frangione made a play there. And it appears that Brown is going to let the clock dwindle down. I think Trey Henderson telling Rob Scarlatta, do we want to take a timeout here, make them kick it off? And instead, they will run it all the way down, and Brown will have the walk-off field goal attempt here at the half to make it a 6-point game. At least I think that's what they were talking about. And Colleen, obviously, we think about the timing at home. I think Coach Henderson, obviously the special teams coach, confident in what he can do, his guys can do. If you call timeout there, you get your kickoff back. If you don't like your field position, Brown only has 2 timeouts because they took one, right? So at that point, you're saying, look, if we don't like our field position, we just take the knee, we go into the half without anything bad happening, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that might have been the conversation, but obviously we're 50 feet above the fray, so we don't know.
I just think Georgetown is just trying to eliminate that lead, Brown extending that lead in any way they can. So I think there are many ways they could do that in.
So Here comes Marin. Talked about the big leg. A 47-yard field goal against Rhode Island last year. At a 48-yarder against Central Connecticut State. And now Rob Scarlatta will take a timeout, maybe to ice the kicker. But yeah, he's got a really big leg. And a 48-yarder against Penn. So
that homecoming crowd here for Georgetown going crazy in the stands, really trying to help out our Hoyas here.
looks like the celebration on the hill has died down. So maybe some of those folks will end up over that little observation area. Buildings, again, very interesting campus here at Georgetown. Some of the incredibly older buildings, some of the newer modern buildings, all kind of sitting together in one space. Of course, Georgetown University Hospital up on the other end of campus. So Brown field goal team will come back out as spot will be at the 15-yard line. Excuse me, the spot will be at the 22. So 32-yard kick for Marin. Lynn, your holder. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So on the mark for Christopher Marin. In a 6-point game at the half, Brown up on Georgetown 20-14. Bears will have the second half kickoff. We'll have more coming up. Conversation with Rob Scarlatta, as well as highlights and stats. Stay tuned for it all. You're watching the Patriot League here on ESPN. As Ryan will kick it away back deep, it is Owen, as along with the speedster Solomon Miller. And let's see if Brown could play a little make it, take it. Got the field goal to end the half. Would love to score again here to take a 2-possession lead. Owen's going to take it at his 3-yard line. Up the middle. Owen hits, stays on his feet though, and he'll be brought down at the 20. So the Hoyas getting a big stick on special teams to limit the Brown kickoff.
Brown does not go down easy after their first hit, that's for sure.
You got a big hit in there. Looked like Rob Scarlatta came out to congratulate one of his special teams players. I think that's might have been Damon Narcisse, the freshman safety, a guy who Coach Scarlatta said look out for him getting some more play on the special teams. Might see him on defense as well. Made his mark right there. So a 1st and 10 for Brown. Ball spotted at the 19-yard line. As Wilcox leads his group out. Hoyas bringing pressure. Quick pass. Incomplete. As Miller tried to go down, and now a flag comes down. So this is an interesting call. It could be pretty much anything right now from when and where that flag was thrown. 2 of them coming in. We wait the official's word.
That's the foul. Targeting.
So targeting on the Hoyas, these all get reviewed. And that didn't look like a classic targeting type play. But the Hoyas may be without a player for the rest of this one. As Zeron Daniel comes in, that's probably going to be targeting, leading with that helmet. So we'll wait, and that would be huge for Georgetown to lose Zeron Daniel.
And they're not at the place to be taking any more deficits.
Yeah, Rob Scarlatta talking to the official, and it wasn't one that he super got his money's worth on, but that lead with the head is what they're looking for, forcible contact. And it was thrown by 2 officials. I think from the angle we have, that one's probably going to be upheld. Again, not maybe that classic shot you see, the guy coming over the middle, but and the crazy part is he might not have caught the pass anyway. That would eject and be able to stay on the field with his team, but that would take Daniel out. He's such a key part of this squad. It's Ron Daniel, 7 tackles last week, 21 on the season. Now, of course, the good thing for the Hoyas is they do have some depth in the back end, but tough to replace a guy like Zeron Daniel, the sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York. And taking a long look at this one, so and you see Zeron Daniel hoping he gets to keep playing in this one. But again, taking a long look, so maybe that's a good thing for the Hoyas, is only look to me pretty much the definition, though maybe it's the contact level. They're saying doesn't rise to it, but remember Georgetown, back-to-back home games. They will take on Columbia next week. Well, it will be Brown getting into Ivy play. They will host Harvard in their home opener before back-to-back matchups against Rhode Island rivals Bryant and University of Rhode Island. Murray coming on the blitz. It was a little bit of an errant throw, and see this one, and they're going to mark it off. So it looks like Zeron Daniel's going to be done for the day. That's a big loss for the Hoyas.
Not happy about that one.
Zeron Daniel. And it looks like let's have a few folks in. Looks like Jamar Marshall into the game. Maybe taking over that spot. But a 1st and 10 and much better field position for Brown. Wilcox looking for Mahoney. And another penalty comes as Pee Wee had turned around and looked like he was playing the ball, but it appears it's going to be pass interference.
Football over this half.
And 2 back-to-back 15-yard penalties, and that one's going to draw the ire of the Hoya crowd again. Normally, they give the defense.
Absolutely. He said he'd be ready for anything to see from Brown, and seems like he's adjusting the second half.
This is what hurt the Hoyas on that final drive of the half. A couple of 3rd and longs that Brown was able to convert. Let's see if Georgetown can get themselves off the field. Pressure comes, looking screen. They'll go back the other way. Incomplete. The Hoyas played it perfectly. They will force a Brown punt.
And that one was even too tall for 6'5" Mahoney.
And we're looking over there. We saw going to one side. They looked to his right. Hoyas had that side covered. Tried to go back the other way. High throw, and the Hoyas stand up on defense and will get the ball back with a chance to take the lead. Dunneman is back deep. Well, Austin Alley is on for the punt, able to pin the Hoyas inside their own 5 the last time he was out here. Hoyas bring some pressure. Tail wagger as it'll be caught by Dunneman. Fair catch inside his 20-yard line. The Hoyas will have the ball. Chance to drive and take the lead. 6-point lead for Brown. You're watching the Patriot League on ESPN. Patchwork offensive line for the Hoyas, as we've seen them lose a few guys today. Really only, I believe, one starter from the beginning of the season. That's Trevor Swan, the tackle. Quick pass, finds Jimmy Kibble for a gain of 4. It's up a 3rd and 3.
Kibble wide open there.
And Trevor Swan out there, but Greg Johnson playing right tackle. Kevin Quinn in at guard. Josh Salecki in at center. Richie Panomi, the upperclassman, is at the other guard. Panomi, a guy who his teammates say you can hear him throughout campus when we're practicing. He is the loudest guy on the team by far, but always staying positive. Here's the end around. Going to be very close, and I think they're going to give it to him as Cam Piggott able to get first down yardage.
think it's so important what you were saying, them to be loud and have some fun at practice.
Well, a huge communication, and sometimes it's tough to get kids to talk. They just don't talk
Hmm.
that much. So it's good to have one guy in there making everybody know, hey, it's all right. Let's speak. Let's talk. Lauder, quick pass out, incomplete, and a flag goes down as Nick Hudson on the coverage. And I think the two officials might conference to see if this one was uncatchable, as there was definitely contact, but I don't know if it was a chance for that ball to be caught. Scarlotta's not going to be happy if this goes the other way. So it did not give the uncatchable signal, but said no foul on the play, which normally you'll see the official kind of do the wave over the head and say the ball was uncatchable because there was definitely contact there. I don't know if it was on target enough for Pygott to have a chance at it.
Both teams getting exceptionally scrappy here in the second half.
2nd and 10. Cox trying to find a hole, and he finds nothing, and that's going to be a loss of 2 on the play. We've seen that today a few times where Cox has gotten the ball where Kearney's kind of just been able to dig his way through. Cox has been hit in the backfield and brought down. So a loss of 2 and a 3rd and long for the Hoyas. They've done a decent job of staying out of this early in the game. We'll see if Brown brings pressure. Lauder looking to the sideline, able to find a man. It's Kibble. He's hit and gets back to the spot he originally had. And what a play. Looked like he might have been thrown out of bounds. Instead, Kibble was wide open.
This replay, Lauder finds Kibble, plenty of room. And Kibble, 4 guys on him, but still trying to push through.
Kibble, father was a kicker for the Virginia Tech team with Michael Vick, as Lauder almost fumbles it away, able to get on top of it, but loses 4 yards. Just didn't look to snap in. Back to Kibble. His father was a kicker for the Michael Vick Virginia Tech teams. One went to the national championship game, lost to Florida State. Jimmy, also a guy that can kick it a little bit, was a good kicker in high school. They've really kind of said, look, I wanted to focus on wide receiver, but sometimes every once in a while I ask Coach Scarlotta, hey, you want me to get out there and kick this one? He's a guy that has a big leg, was a big-time kicking recruit, but has found a home as a wide receiver. Here's Cox on the run. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but another 3rd and long coming up for the Hoyas.
I know Jeremy Lauder was a bit of a concern for us in the first half, going down a few times, but I saw him on the sideline a few minutes ago, thumbs up, waving to the fans. Again, homecoming weekend, a lot of people in the audience.
That's good, because we were kind of concerned. Looked like that non-throwing shoulder after he was hit that 15-yard penalty against Brown. Thought that might be an issue, but good to see he's no worse for wear. 3rd and 10, pressure comes. Lauder hit as he's thrown, and that's going to be Brown football, and Lauder is down hurt on the ground. As a big play, believe that was the defensive end, Quincy Utse, who struggled with a big-time knee injury a couple years ago, has gotten back to full strength and makes his impact felt, as Lauder will get off the field, but took a heck of a hit. Just got past his man, and Utse makes a big play that can turn this game around. Hoyas were looking at least punting the ball away. Instead, a fumble, and it'll be Brown ball. I think the officials aren't sure that we're not taking a media timeout here, kind of taking a, maybe they're waiting to see if there's any review here. That might be what it is.
Brown was right on it. Lauder didn't even get football fully back there.
So it'll be interesting to see, after taking another big hit, how Lauder is if Georgetown has to go to a backup quarterback. And I think there still might be reviewing this, but I'm not exactly sure what the review is, if that's why we're holding up, because it didn't look like he was throwing the ball. Georgetown has their defense ready. You'll see Udsay coming in from the other side. And Lauder doing that hand not coming forward. So I think it's going to be Brown ball.
Tough angle for Lauder. People probably didn't even see him coming from the right.
So actually, they actually have a full review here. So maybe back here in D.C. and awaiting confirmation from our referee. But it looks like it's going to stay Brown ball. Field does stand as Alex Perella, our referee, just passed along. So big defensive play for Brown. And you see the man who did it, Quincy Udsay, the senior from Roxbury, Massachusetts, comes around the end and makes a huge play there. Up the middle, and a gain by DeLucia of 7. So Brown would love to give themselves some separation here. Going with tempo, DeLucia will be brought down. Slight loss on the play. So now a third, we'll call it 3. Wilcox going deep, again looking for Mahoney, and this time knocked away. What a play by Kaluba Pee-wee Jr. Trying to go to the big man again. This time, number 1 was up to the task.
Pee-wee right there. Knocks it down.
So Brown looking like they're going to go for it here. 3rd and 3. Remember, they've got a big-legged kicker in Moran. But it appears they're going to go for it. We know James Perry not afraid to go for it on 4th down. Wilcox is going to be hit and brought down. The freshman getting back into the backfield is Isaac Saffold, along with Nat Frangione, as the Hoyas defense comes up huge.
Georgetown defense taking no chances.
You saw after the play, I think someone was about to get in someone's face. Rob Scarlatta escorted him off the field quickly, but the Hoya defense getting pressure today, and a big turnover on downs to give the Hoyas a chance back here. And Danny Lauder's back out on the field. So after taking that big hit, ends up not hurting the Hoyas as their defense stands up.
Great to see him back out there.
Quick pass out to Dunneman through one man, and Mallow will bring him down. And I tell you what, I think they might have missed a horse collar tackle, as it looked like I saw the jerseys behind. Be a rough day at the office. As Mallow came up, he lost his helmet. Mallow's going to have to come off. And pulled him down. That kind of looks like one to me. Obviously, the officials would know better. Another quick pass. That's off the mark. I don't know if Lauder was just worried Brown was going to break it up, threw it through the traffic.
Dangerous zone there. A lot of people.
Back to the Hoya defense. Now 5 sacks on the day. So basically, half their total of the season coming into the game. 2nd and 10, 6-point lead for Brown, 20-14 score. Fake handoff, and popped up in the air, and did Mallow catch it before that went out of bounds? What a play by Brown. Popped into the air on the catch, and then Mallow grabbed it before he ended up out of play. What a play by the Bears. Don't see that very often.
See this replay. That looked like it popped up quite high, just enough for Brown to take advantage for it.
It just popped out by the All-American Reed, then Malo able to get it. The question is, did he get it before he was in the white? The officials say yes. And I can't imagine, that looked very close. Obviously, they must have a better angle than we do to say that was a good play. Now going into round. Out in front, and a nice play. Getting out there, Blomstrom, as well as Rufo, able to hold down Miller. Popped up there in the air, and it's going to say that that knee was in by the time he had established possession. And they looked at a lot today, thought they might look at one more, but they don't. 2nd and 9. Hit the backfield, Owen. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Scarlotta giving the linesman an earful about something. Another 3rd and long. Boy, defense trying to give their offense another chance after a couple of inopportune turnovers. Hoyas bring pressure. Swing pass out in the flat, and well played. The Hoyas, it's Cooper Blomstrom again, as it'll be a loss on the play, and the Hoyas defense again gets off the field.
Blomstrom, what an incredible showing this second half.
Tell you what, we picked a pretty good player to watch, huh?
Definitely.
He has been all over the place today with big plays, sacks, tackles for loss. And again, the Hoyas will have a chance at it after a couple of disastrous turnovers. The offense will get another shot. Alley to punt it. And we have a delay of game. It will be delay of game, so 5 yards back for Brown.
Well, back to Blomstrom, there's a reason he's consistently Patriot League honorable mention, player of the week.
Yeah, he has been a revelation for the Hoyas. Had a few other folks that they had maybe penciled into that spot coming into the year, but Blomstrom getting his opportunity, and boy, has he taken advantage of it. Blomstrom today with 5 tackles, 4 of those solo, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack. Alley gets it away. High kick. Dunneman calls for the fair catch, makes it at the 20. So Georgetown will have the ball there. Again, trying to take the lead as they trail by 6. You're watching the Patriot League on ESPN. Turnovers, the Hoyas trying to get something going as it'll be Naeem Kearney up the middle. Kearney, his helmet comes off on the hit, but he'll have a gain of about 9 yards. So Kearney will leave and Bryce Cox will come in. Again, this game, Colleen, we're seeing kind of the walking wounded for Georgetown, just looking down and between the folks who came into the game hurt, folks who've gotten hurt today or in uniform. Big chance for the Hoyas to get a win here in a game that only down by a touchdown, as Enribe has it, and he'll try to bounce it outside, and he'll lose 2 yards on the play. Again, we've seen so far today the only Hoya running back that is seemingly known how to run against this Brown front has been Naeem Kearney, kind of being patient and picking his way through. The other runners kind of bouncing to the outside. That looks like exactly what Brown wants.
Absolutely.
Elsewhere around the Patriot League, Lehigh with a big win today. They beat Princeton up in Bethlehem. Columbia on the verge of knocking off Lafayette. Colgate also with a lead on Cornell. Yale up on Holy Cross. 3rd and 2. Lauder over the middle and incompletes. So the Hoyas with a good start to the drive couldn't finish it off.
Jeremy, I'm surprised with that Lafayette loss, especially after last season. winning the Patriot League Conference.
Also the fact against the Columbia team they handled last year. Like the Lions with a good start to their season. So Hoyas will punt it away after that good 9-yard run by Kearney. Lost yardage play and an incompletion. So Ryan punts it away. High kick. Badu's going to take it. He'll be hit immediately. Stays on his feet, though. Badu will scramble forward to get back to the 40. Good coverage there by the Hoyas to keep that to a minimal gain. As, again, Brown will look for a score here to make it a 2-possession game. Hoya defense has held up very well, especially with some of the younger players out there.
I also think they're really starting to get to know that Brown offense and trying to eliminate passes to Mahoney and Miller.
We've seen Brown go a little bit shorter early in the game. Those two big long bombs, one to Mahoney, one to Miller. They're two top returning receivers. And this Brown team trying to replace Graham Walker, the transfer to Rice, and Wes Rocket, the graduate. And two top receivers last year. Here's DeLucia up the middle. He's got a big gain of 12 out across the 50-yard line.
DeLucia found his path right away.
And he did. DeLucia back up to Stockton Owen out of Belmore, New York. And one touchdown last year, ran for 168 yards. Wilcox out in the flat, finds his man. It's Pezza. Pezza's going to have first down yardage inside the 40.
Taking another look at that. Wilcox fakes and then finds
Georgetown, the second teamers out there now, trying to get those first team guys a blow. Brown taking advantage on the first couple plays. Here's DeLucia up the middle again. This time the Hoya defense holds as only 2 yards gained by DeLucia.
Hoyas were ready for that same play. Not letting DeLucia get too far this time.
Georgetown started the season off with a pair of impressive wins. James Perry talked about it. He's got obviously contacts with the new coaching staff up at Marist, who had their tenure over at Princeton like he did, and said just how the way they kind of shut down what Marist did in the second half. I was surprised, but not that way last week against Sacred Heart. 2nd and 8. Fake the handoff. Now Wilcox keeps, shakes a man in the open field, and he's going to have first down yardage all the way inside the 20-yard line. Another man had a shot at him, but Wilcox making a move and a big gain on that play.
What a great run for Wilcox, proving he can really do it all. Run, passing game.
Penalty. Right now, Brown's got that momentum that the Hoyas were staving off. Georgetown in the second half, 2 turnovers, able to force punts. Right now, Brown looking for that 2-score lead that's eluded them. They'll hand it off on the end around, going around and hits near the goal line, keeping him out of the end zone. As unable to get in is Ty Holtz, one of the backup quarterbacks, in as a receiver. Holtz out of DeWitt, Michigan.
2nd and goal at 2.
Now we see the backup linebacker and former quarterback Nate Lucier as they go to that single wing formation. Lucier, no, it'll be up the middle, very close. Unable to get in at Stockton Owen. They'll mark him just short of the goal line. And we've got whistles again. We have another injured player. Yeah, looks like we do. Looks like it might be Caramonico again. And now they're going to say he's fine. So Caramonico stays out. Brown has the ball right on the shadow of the goal line. DeLucia, the deep back in that single wing. He'll take it up the middle, and he will spin into the end zone. Hoyas had him stopped on the initial contact, but spun through, and Brown now with a 2-touchdown lead.
Brown's doing an excellent job forcing themselves through the middle there, especially that close to the goal line. Easy to find success there.
So now up 12 with 1 minute and 14 seconds to go. Brown will go for 2 to try to get it to a 14-point game. It is Wilcox back. More of a traditional shotgun here. Fake the handoff over the middle, and it is picked off. Hoyas going to go the other way, try for 2, and brought down on the play is Preston Murray. And if he had run that all the way back, would have been 2 points. We've seen the Hoyas do that over the years, but 2 points kept off the board for Brown as we've got a 26-14 game.
That was huge. The Hoyas cannot afford any more points on the Bears' end.
So a 12-point game, so still going to take 2 touchdowns for the Hoyas, but Georgetown unable to get the offense going. Some self-inflicted wounds we've seen for Georgetown, the 2 turnovers, as well as the drive where 9 yards on the first play, then a loss, and then an incomplete pass. And finally, Brown able to break through after the Hoya defense had held them in check. It'll be Enaribe and Cox back deep. Brown has covered the kicks well today. Really unable to get anything going. And of course, no Mason Gudger, the Hoyas' return weapon today. He is injured. Squib kick. And Uribe is going to take it inside his 10. Trying to find a seam and ends up being run into. Good coverage on the play. Getting down is Ty Pezza. Really break that one up as the Hoyas will have it just outside the 20.
As you mentioned, Jeremy, on Gudger, that was a huge loss. He was leading the country. Kickoff returns, averaging over 45 yards.
Yeah, had a few big ones. Had a huge one in the Davidson game to help swing the momentum back. Also big kickoff returns in the Marist and Sacred Heart games as well, but able to post today as gets banged up, and now the Hoyas need a score here as Lauder will keep all the options stacked up as he'll have a gain of around 3 on the play. As Malo pulled the ball loose on the ground. Lauder not a fan of it.
Gain of 3. 2nd and 7 at the 28.
Max McCormick out there. We've seen him a few times today. More of a receiving tight end threat than the Hoyas' other group. Lauder over the middle and completed, but not a great throw as Gibble had to dive to keep it off the ground. Bring up a 3rd and 3.
Downtown 32.
Yeah.
Gain of 4.
That was a bullet to Kibble, but
Yeah, we've seen that, and it looks like Rob Scarlatta not going to run a play here. They're going to wait till the 4th quarter. So Georgetown will take it to the other end and try to get an elusive 3rd down conversion here in the second half. 26-14, Georgetown trailing Brown here on Homecoming on the Hilltop. Can the Hoyas find some momentum in the second half? A lot of scoring in this second stanza. The Hoyas is going to try and find some. Try to make a comeback and avoid a losing streak. Just 7 yards for the Hoyas in the 3rd quarter rushing. Say 39 passing yards. Right now, 3 is the key number. Get it out across the 35-yard line. Right, 1st down to keep the drive moving. Lauder takes the low snap out in the flat, out to Cox, and it's going to be an incomplete pass. And just off the mark, Cox unable to keep his feet, but also had to go low to try and get it. And now the Hoyas will punt it away.
3rd quarter, as you mentioned, did not go in the Hoyas' favor, so they cannot afford to lose any offensive opportunities, especially towards the end of the game here.
So Georgetown will punt it away on an incomplete pass, not a catch. And Cox didn't have a lot of room if he had made it. Maybe if he'd made it cleanly, would have had a shot at it. As Ryan kicks it away, high kick, not especially deep, and that's going to end up out of bounds. So not a lot of extra field position for the Hoyas. So Brown will start it off. That ball spotted inside the 40. The Hoyas will call on their defense once again. Trying to get the ball back and get a stop. Brown finally found their footing in the late third quarter, went down and scored the touchdown. But even that drive was kind of started in good field position. So again, Wilcox brings them out. It'll be Quentin Brown, the running back. Seen mostly DeLucia and Owen, and now we will have a flag.
Illegal substitution. Offense. Formation.
Anticipation, I think they said. Maybe breaking the huddle with 12 men because nobody's running off the field. So good start for the Hoyas. A free 5 yards the other way. Barber goes in motion. And Wilcox pulls it down. It'll be hit by Rufo. I think he gets back to the line of scrimmage, actually just short. So be a sack on the play as the Hoyas add on to that total. Looks like Rufo and Sal credited with the sack.
And Wilcox just taking what he can get, what he sees.
This time we'll hand it off. And it'll be Brown. Gets a second effort. Looked like they were going to have him for 3. Instead, stayed on his feet and gets back across the original line of scrimmage. What a run.
Runs fast offense, similar to what we just saw in the third quarter, really running it down the center.
So huge third down coming up here as Georgetown could use a stop and get the ball back quickly. Really have a shot at 2 full drives, at least, maybe a couple more. A stop here would be huge for the Hoya effort. 3rd and 9. Hoyas bring pressure. Wilcox is going to be just short. Big hit by Ely, and they'll give him almost to the 49-yard line. Catch made on the play by Sugar Huddle here. Hand it off. No, they'll pitch it to the outside, and first down yardage. Elusive run there by Miller. He had the big first play of the game. Gets a big first down there, eluding a tackle right at the sticks.
Coach Berry mentioned how creative their team is, and looks like Wilcox is able to find a different route.
And Marshall had a chance, just overran it. Now looking deep, Wilcox again going for broke, and this time incomplete as he was going for Mahoney. Story of this game, the first play of the season for Brown. Solomon Miller for 87. And after Georgetown scored, Naeem Kearney from 1 yard out after a nice drive. Mahoney from 45 out by Wilcox, and the Hoyas have been in chase mode ever since. Now fake the end around and brought down to the backfield, well read. It's coming up from the secondary. It's Preston Murray to make the tackle on Ty Holtz. So again, a 3rd and long. Brown has had some back-breaking conversions on the Hoyas in this spot today. And Georgetown get a stop when they need it. Pezza into the backfield. Hoyas showing pressure, drop out of it. Wilcox looking deep down the middle, and it's going to be incomplete as he was looking for Mahoney, and the Hoyas get the stop they need.
Just out of reach for Mahoney there.
Yeah, he's so big, Colleen. You look at him and you wouldn't think he could get down the field like he does.
Absolutely. And if he got a touch on it, it would have been his and clear tunnel ahead.
I mean, he really, at this level, he's kind of the size of a tight end. And talking to Coach Perry, he said, look, we told him he didn't need to gain any weight. He's big enough already where he is. Just maintain what you're at. Kick away by Alley as Dunneman calls for the fair catch at his 15-yard line. So the Hoyas, again, will have tough field position, but they have the ball back. If they can get something going here in the second half, they trail by 12. You're watching on the Patriot League on ESPN. Have to remember for the Hoya offense, and the Hoyas got it going a bit in the first half. The long pass to Pygott, the long drive capped off by Kearney. But in the second half, one drive ended it via fumble, one by interception, then 2 punts. Hoyas have not gained over 20 yards on a drive. Actually, 18 was their high. That was on that first drive where Lauder was hit and fumbled. But Georgetown has their shot with a 4 wide look with Cox the back of the backfield next to Lauder. Lauder's taken a few shots today, but still in there here in the fourth quarter. Out in the flat, finds Burke Carroll. Carroll will have first down yardage across the 25. Carroll, local product from Gonzaga High School, just down the road.
Looks like he was looking for a kibble for a moment, but
Georgetown, at this point, just got to try and move the chains, keep that going. They have enough time. Missed opportunities in the third quarter. Lauder going deep, looking for Kibble, and he makes the catch. Kibble, can he break the tackle? He does. Kibble, can he go all the way? Jimmy Kibble into the end zone. Touchdown, Hoyas. What a play by Jimmy Kibble.
exactly what the Hoyas needed.
You said it, Colleen. Jimmy Kibble on the sideline. Now we have a flag late in the play. This is a very interesting spotted flag here.
As the screen's showing right now. Everyone up on the field, everyone up in the stands.
They're going to call a hold. And the flag was dropped inside the 20, which, unless they're going to say right when Jimmy kind of disengaged and one of his teammates grabbed somebody, but that's a very interesting play. You might see a kind of a block in the back that far down the field. And I guess they're going to call it on Dunneman. Yeah, Dunneman stuck his hand out. Not a smart play by the upperclassman. As Kibble, even if he did get caught from behind, would have been caught maybe inside the 5-yard line. Now the ball all the way back out near the 25.
That's something Georgetown couldn't really afford to make a mistake on.
Play ended in the end zone, so clock is starting to snap. Game clock operator,
They got to move the game clock, get that fixed. But yeah, great work by our camera crew there. You know, it's one of those. It's kind of Colleen like the play where the guy reaches the ball out on a first down. It's like, no, you're going to have 3 more chances at this. You don't take that. That's a 4th down chance right there. Even if Kibble gets tackled, he's inside the 5. Hoyas have been pretty good when it comes to short yardage this year. Now down the field and incomplete, looking for B-Stick and Reed on the coverage.
Right, and we've seen from both teams much more scrappy second half, and it's just not the opportunity to give anything back, give any reason for the refs to throw up their flag.
And not a lot, but enough. And Dunneman kind of shaking his head as he comes off, but just kind of reached out in front of the referee and pulled on the defender's jersey and enough to draw the flag. So 2nd and 10. Fake the handoff over the middle. Reed almost picks it off. Again, he had the jam on Kibble. And that's an All-American type corner there. He's on the Buck Buchanan Award and Senior Bowl watch list. Also on the East-West Shrine Bowl 1000. haven't called his name a lot because the Hoyas haven't challenged him, but back-to-back plays, he's been up to the task. And one of the things that Coach Perry said about him is like, look, when you have a guy who's the best player in your team and he's your hardest worker, you just kind of let him be.
Mm-hmm. And also Jeremy said he was kind of a hidden gem recruit, so continuing to impress him.
They'll find Carroll. Carroll will have about 7 on the play, so the Hoyas will have a 4th and manageable here. Down 2 touchdowns, they're going to have to go for it.
But again, we're seeing them still play catch up either from their mistakes or catch up from the big lead.
Going to be 4th and 3, so what a change if the Hoyas don't get this, as they had a touchdown to kibble off an amazing play, and a bit of a silly penalty takes it off the board, and now a 4th and 3. Brown can almost put this one away if they can get a stop. Lauder on the roll, looking for a man, throws one up and threw it way out of the end zone. Flag goes down, but I think this is going to be uncatchable because Lauder didn't even keep it close to the end line. That ball bounced at least 5 yards outside, and they're going to pick up the flag. So they had the penalty, but Lauder overshot his man.
Also, Lauder's slow to stand up there. So right.
Still letting that arm drag a little bit. So the Hoyas thought they had this one within a touchdown, and another crucial mistake keeps the Hoyas at arm's length from Brown. And now see if the Bears go to working on the clock.
So disappointing for the home team there. They had it. Points on the board and taken away.
Yeah, just a huge, huge difference, obviously, those points. But, they were going to score with about, I believe, 10.5 minutes to go. You put Brown in mode of, they got to go score. You can easily have a couple more possessions. Now, Brown can start milking the clock if they choose to, and looks like they will here as Owen shakes a few tackles to get back just across the line of scrimmage.
Well said. Completely different game here based on that one penalty.
Right now, Georgetown can get a stop here, but even more desperate situation if you with 12, depending on how you decided to play it. I don't think they would have gone for 2, but you could have been looking, even giving up a Brown field goal keeps you in the game. Here's Wilcox looking for the backside screen, not there, and almost completes it as he was trying to throw it away, but a heads-up play there as DeLucia just kept running and might have had a big gain if he could have caught up to it.
Wilcox does an excellent job thinking 2 steps ahead, so leading his guys on well enough if they get it that they have a clear run. But for that one, wasn't able to get his hands on it.
Rob Scarlatta still giving the line judge an earful, but I think the crew got that one right. Lauder so far overthrew his target, didn't really give his chance to throw the flag. Quick pass out. It's Miller out in the flat. Hoya does a good job. They bring him down in bounds, but Brown a 3 and out, one desperately the Hoyas needed. So as untimely as that was for Georgetown taking those points off the board, still will get the ball back. A quick drive will keep them in a reasonable chance to make the comeback here.
Mm-hmm.
But that play by Kibble ends up being wasted. What a play it was. So again, Alley on to punt as Brown going to drain some of the clock before they let it go. Alley. And a deep kick that Dunneman's going to have to take over his shoulder. Gets some room back, but a nice special teams tackle by Pezza. As the Hoyas will have the ball. And we will take a break here in D.C. as Georgetown trails by 2 scores. You're watching the Patriot League on ESPN. And 3 turnovers in this game. Still have a chance here if Danny Lauder and Georgetown can put together a drive. Lauder out in the flat finds Kearney. He'll be brought down as Moorhead with the play after a gain of 2.
We've been seeing that duo a lot today. Lauder to Kearney.
Talked about Moorhead before. There's a Campbell Trophy watch list. That's the academic Heisman, as they call it. 2nd and 8. Lauder looking deep for Pygotts, and he can't make the catch. And again, I think they're going to say that's uncatchable. There was a little bit of contact on the play with Hudson, but didn't really have a chance to go after it. Hudson, interesting story. Brother played at Colorado, then Northern Colorado, is now an assistant at Rice, while his dad played football at Southern. His uncle was Chris Hudson. Some of you older folks might remember, won the Jim Thorpe Award at Colorado for best defensive back in America. Also played in the NFL. 3rd and 8, need to get it out to the 48-yard line for a first down. Lauder looks for the quick screen and broke it up, and Moorhead was on the spot. And now we'll see if Rob Scarlatta elects to go for it. Now they're going to punt it away. So with 7.5 to go, going to try and lean on that defense one more time. But Georgetown has been stymied in the second half. Partially Brown, partially their own miscues. And now Ryan will punt it away. Badu not calling for the fair catch. This one will end up in the end zone for the touchback. And that'll take us to break, as still a 12-point game. Brown looking for a win in their season opener on Georgetown. You're watching the Patriot League on ESPN. The game that James Perry said kind of hopes becomes a bit of a rivalry game. Boy, has been doing that with Columbia out of the Ivy. That series going away. Running back into the backfield and hit and brought down for a loss on the play. So the Lloyd defense comes up, and Matt Childs, the freshman out of Midway, Massachusetts, brought down. He actually gets forward progress across the line of scrimmage, but not much more.
Georgetown gonna push back as much as they can.
Very interesting late in this game when you think Brown's going to go to the run. They go to the freshman Medway. I don't think DeLucia or Owen are hurt, but we did hear Coach Perry say, look, we're going to put a lot of guys in there in the backfield, just kind of shuttle them through, but getting key carries late when a fumble would be disastrous. Medway, again, up the middle, and he'll have 3 on the play. So it sets up a 3rd and 6.
Able to inch forward a little there in this Brown offense. Not one that you can even give an inch or any type of breathing room. And they have a little bit of that where I feel like they can play even more loose and fun.
Gain of 3.
So need to get out to the 30-yard line for a first down. Under 6 minutes to go. We'll see if Brown puts it up in the air. DeLucia goes in motion. They will. Looking deep is Wilcox, and incomplete, so that will stop the clock. Trying to go deep to Barber. Trying for the coup de grace on that one, but gives Georgetown a little extra time as the Hoya defense, again, it stands up. Only that one score here in the second half for Brown. Hoya's almost had theirs, but a Herculean effort by Jimmy Kibble erased by a holding penalty down the field. See if the Hoyas bring pressure here or go for the return. Alley kicks it away, end over end. Should be returnable for Dunneman. Nick trying to get to the outside. Nothing there, as Pezza will pull him down. A couple good special teams plays by Pezza today, and that one keep the Hoyas across midfield, but good field position for Georgetown with 5:19 left to go.
And Dunneman fighting for every yard at the last minute there.
Talked about the drives so far, Colleen, in the second half. Georgetown have not had success. fumble, interception, punt on downs. That was the play where Kibble had the touchdown taken off the board by the holding penalty by his teammate inside the 10-yard line, basically. And then a punt. And not much better for Brown. Punt, downs, punt, touchdown, then 3 punts in a row. But of course, the Bears have the pole position. Georgetown's the one that's got to chase. Lauder. He finds his man in Kibble. He'll get forward progress on the gain of 8 as Reed on the tackle. And a man down for Brown, so that'll help the Hoyas. Looked like they were getting quickly into their offense. Looks like a cramp for number 95, Michael Bumpus, I believe, the man down. And
Quickly up there. Doesn't look too bad.
Bumpus, the 6'4", 275-pound senior out of Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, the Bowles School. As we'll head back out.
Gain of 8 on the play.
Georgetown against Columbia next week. Lions against Lafayette today. And that was a win for the Lions. And again, this time Bryce Cox, not his fault, as man in the backfield, basically when he got the handoff, as Owen Clark makes a big play and again puts the Hoyas back, a loss of a half yard on the play.
Loss of 1, 3rd and 3.
So the Hoyas get back up on the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 3. Lauder swings it out to Cox over his head and takes another big hit as Utse, who laid that big shot on Lauder earlier, gets another one there.
Good idea there if Cox had gotten it. Not a lot of room.
The last chance for the Hoyas, very likely, with just over 4 minutes to go. Lauder has not been super accurate today. Now, though, he can definitely use a completion to keep this thing going. Quick pass and knocked away. Malo on the play from the safety spot. And the Brown defense holds. They'll have a chance to grind more clock down. And the Hoyas' chances got a lot slimmer.
Lauder was looking for Carroll on that last play, but unsuccessful.
So Georgetown has done a good job on the defensive end, but the offense just unable to get in sync. Get that one touchdown pass, that big play, but taken off the board on a holding penalty down the field. Kibble made an amazing catch, broke a tackle, was heading in for the end zone, and one of his teammates just reached out and grabbed the defender trying to get to him. I guess we get a slide play in, but the officials saw it. Then later in the drive, on a 4th down, going for a pass toward the end zone, it was a flag originally dropped for pass interference, but the throw so far over the head of the intended receiver, the officials picked it up. And now with 3.5 minutes to go, it's Brown trying to run this one out. Head back up to Rhode Island with win number 1 on the year. Handoff to the outside and brought down after a 2-yard gain. And the timeout called by Rob Scarlatta, DeLucia, with the 2-yard gain. And the timeout there with 3:18 to go. Boy, it's going to try and get this ball back.
DeLucia's been consistent with the run game. That play beforehand, weaving through the center, and then able to make a few yards towards the left side of the field on that last one.
DeLucia's brother played at FIU, Florida International. So won the award as the top player in the Long Island Catholic High School Football League back in his high school days.
A lot of academics, a lot of family, sports.
12:30.
Runs in the genes.
So likely 4-down territory for Brown as they've gone for it all day. 3rd and 4. Need to get it to the 45 for a first down. Wilcox, half roll, going deep again. And it is incomplete. Again, looking for Miller. It's the second time that Brown on a 3rd and short has gone for a long ball that's kind of kept the Hoyas in it. So Rob Scarlotta says, thank you very much, giving his team some chance to breathe as Brown tried for the deep shot. Dunman goes back for the return.
Austin Alley out to punt.
Jeremy, you said it. The Mahoney, Miller, near completed passes. We've been getting lucky in Georgetown.
A little bit of pressure. Tail wagger that Dunman's going to have to let bounce, and it's going to take a roll out of bounds. So down around the 10-yard line, Georgetown again gets another chance, but they have not been able to do much. We've talked about it here in the second half. Georgetown unable to find any points. Thought they had it on the long pass to Kibble, but wiped off the board. A couple of fumble, really good play on that interception where the pass to Kibble was popped loose right as he caught it up in the air. And as we saw him making some big plays earlier on that last 4th down, it was the safety, Tim Malo, was able to stay in bounds and recover the ball. But Hoyas have a chance here. 3:03 left to go. Need 2 scores. Lauder out to Pygott. On Reed. Able to get open for the first down as they'll move the sticks.
2 Brown guys right there on Pygott.
Gain of 10. First and 10 at the 20.
Lauder. Again, looking for Pygott. And they'll say it's a catch. Just short of the sticks that time. Georgetown working the sidelines. Mentioned it before. Coming up for Brown will be an Ivy Conference game against Harvard, followed by matchups against Bryant and Rhode Island. They're Rhode Island rivals. Georgetown has Columbia next week as Pygott will make the catch on the rebound, gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
3 in a row. The Lauder-Pygott combo.
Right now, just trying to get things going.
First and 10 at the 35.
First down there. First time in a while for the Hoyas that they've had one. Clock picked up again. And looking deep. A lot of contact in the middle of the field. And that will be the 2-minute timeouts as we've ticked under 2 minutes to go. And we'll see if the Hoyas can find a way in the end zone to make this one exciting. 26-14, Georgetown trying to come back. Desperate times for Georgetown. They trail by 2 scores, 26-14. Sue Brown. They're trying to open their season with a win. Georgetown trying to avoid falling back to 500 after winning their first 2 this season. Danny Lauder in the shotgun, 2nd and 10. Fakes the handoff to Cox out in the flat. Incomplete, says he was looking for Max McCormick. Big rush coming on Lauder on that play.
McCormick able to get a hand on it, but not successfully catch that.
Bring up a 3rd and long, obviously 4-down territory for the Hoyas. As they need to keep the drive going to have any chance. With under 2 minutes to go. Lauder over the middle, finds Cox. Cox will get across the sticks for a first down. That will stop the clock while they move the chains.
Great run by Cox.
It's a 48.
including the extra defenseman, the referee there for a moment.
Always get up on the line quickly. Good pocket as he finds Kibble, but Reed's there for the tackle. They'll have forward progress as the clock will continue to run. Under 90 seconds to go. Trying to work the sideline, but good play. Reed all over Kibble. Again, they'll go out there. This time he's got first down yardage, so it will stop the clock. With 1:08 to go.
Tackle by Reed and Mullo. First and 10 at the 39.
Boy is going to need a chunk play here, you would think. Again, working the sidelines, and again, tackled short of the sticks. No timeout by the Hoyas. So clock will continue to run.
Second and 6 at the 35.
Under 50 seconds now. Now Lauder will try for the shot play. Finds B-stick, goes up high to get it. Clock stops, and now Rob Scarlotta, did he take a timeout, or is he going to wait with the clock stopped? I thought he took a timeout for a second, but he didn't. As they'll wait to get the sixth set. Now under 40 seconds. Lauder. He'll have it slapped from behind. He'll jump on top of it, and Rob Scarlotta takes the timeout. Good play on defense there. Looked like Owen Clark got the hand in to slap it away from Lauder on his windup.
Yeah, McCormick, he had some good contributions in those last offensive efforts. Good to see him out there.
Get your replay here, coming off the edge, and big number 92 with that slap as Lauder winding up, had it knocked loose. Today's game. Overall look at the stats. Boys have been able to put some yards up, kind of somewhat similar except for those turnovers, 3 by the Hoyas. And while none of them really led directly to points, very few of them end up kind of blunting momentum for Georgetown and ended up in situations where the Hoyas would make a play, got the defense, made a good effort to get off the field. Hoyas couldn't get things going. That was a real key part of this third quarter, I should say. Now we're in the fourth. Interesting. Kason Mahukakawa is back in the game. Him start the game. Have not seen him much of the contest. I don't know if we have another injury for the Hoyas up front, which they just can't deal with right now. Lauder trying to keep the play alive. He's going to run out of bounds, trying to save as much clock as he can with 24 seconds. So right now, with this little time, if you're Georgetown, probably have to go to the end zone to give yourself time for an onside kick and a Hail Mary. We'll see if they're thinking the same way.
Third and 20 at the 31.
3 receivers to one side. Pygott the lone receiver the other way. Lauder steps up, throws over the middle. It's caught by Dunneman, then knocked loose. Would not have been a first down, so the Hoyas would have to take a timeout, but had a chance to take a respectable shot at the end zone. Now a 4th and long. 4th down and 20 yards to go. Last chance for the Hoyas. So it's Kearney is the back. B-stick one way. Pygott, Dunneman, McCormick out there as well. 4-man rush for Brown. As they'll flush Lauder. And he will throw it out of bounds. So that'll do it. And Brown will take over as they'll take a knee and have their first win of the season in their opening game, while the Hoyas will fall to 2-2 on the campaign.
Heads are low for Georgetown right now. Not the homecoming they had hoped for.
And Georgetown had that big win against Fordham last year. This time, a different story, as Brown will come to DC and will come away with a win. And Brown with high hopes, as Coach Perry told us, a program that kind of took them a few years to get going, as they'd been down a little bit, but on the rise and come away with a win in the opener. They will beat Georgetown 26-14. Come away with the victory. Colleen, any final thoughts for you?
I think it really came down to the second half. The mistakes and not capitalizing on the slim offensive opportunities Georgetown did have.
So the Hoyas will fall to 2-2 in a game where some chances were on